In this video, we will show you how to replace your rear caliper on this Toyota Sienna. You'll have one of these on each side of the rear of your vehicle. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing you need to do is safely raise and support the rear of the vehicle so your wheel's off the ground. Once you've done that, continue on to removing each of your 5 21mm lug nuts and then the wheel. Now with the wheel off of here, we have a close view of our rear caliper. The first thing we'll do is attempt to push back our caliper piston, which is located in this area. We'll use a small pry bar for this. Realistically, you only have to push it back enough that you can gain a little bit of movement here because we do have to slide the caliper out of position. The next thing we'll do is move along to this area where you can see our caliper bleeder boot. It's just a small rubber boot typically. Go ahead and remove that, give it a quick inspection and set it aside. Before we open the bleeder screw, it's a good idea to have a collection receptacle handy. I've got one that has a rubber hose that'll fit right on the end of the bleeder screw here. The next thing we'll do is open up the bleeder screw. We're waiting to see if we can see a steady trickle of fluid coming out of this area. I can see fluid coming out, that's a good sign. At this point, we'll pause down here, leaving this open. Make your way up inside the passenger compartment. We're going to use a nice long pry bar, rest it against the brake pedal and the seat, and press that brake pedal all the way to the floor and hold it there. Now that we have that brake pedal fully depressed, we can go ahead and close this bleeder screw. We'll remove our receptacle here. Now that we have this area snugged, let's make our way along the back side of the caliper here. You can see where the flex hose leads in. This is held in place with a 14mm headed banjo bolt. As you remove this, keep in mind there will be fluid in this area. Have a collection bucket under there so you can recycle that fluid properly. Remove your banjo bolt, give it a close inspection. What you're paying attention to is the threaded portion to ensure it's not rotted and damaged, but we also want to pay attention all the way up closest to where my gloved fingers are. Ensure you cannot see a gasket on that area. Commonly, you'll have a small crush gasket. You want to make sure that you do replace that with a brand new one. This looks fine, we'll set it aside. Now we can look at the flex hose itself. This is where we're going to find the gasket. On this particular application, it looks as though it's still got the original gasket on there. We'll just pull that out of place. We'll set that aside for recycling. You never want to reuse these gaskets. A quick inspection of the flex hose to make sure it's not torn, worn, or damaged in any way. This looks fine. We'll set it aside, making sure that we do not cause any damage. Moving along, we'll start removing our 14mm headed mounting bolts that hold the caliper to the bracket. Start by removing that upper mounting bolt, a quick inspection, and start it back in just a couple threads. Now we'll fully remove the lower bolt. Get that first bolt out of there. There's one portion of our caliper. We'll set this aside. With the caliper out of the way, we'll remove our brake pads and give them a close inspection. There's one. If it looks like your brake pads are worn low or at an angle, it's a good idea to go ahead and replace them. These are clearly pretty much brand new. With the brake pads out of the way, we can start removing our caliper bracket by removing these two 17mm headed mounting bolts. You know what to do. We'll start by loosening the upper one, but leave it in a couple threads and then fully remove the lower. remove your caliper bracket. And there it is, friend. Let's prepare our brand new caliper for installation. We'll do this on the bench. Looking along the backside, we'll remove each of our two 14mm headed bolts that hold the caliper to the bracket. As you remove the caliper, we can also remove the banjo bolt with our two brand new gaskets along the backside there. There's one. We got the pair of those. We'll set them aside. As for this portion of the caliper, we're going to use some high temperature caliper lubricant and lubricate along the piston area and also along the backside of each of the two ears. This will help with vibration dampening and noise reduction. At this point, we can set this portion aside. Let's continue on with the bracket. As for the bracket, we're going to remove each of our two slider pins. Just go ahead and take hold of those, give them a little twist, and pull them out of place, being careful not to cause any damage to your slider pin boot. Once you have those off of there, it's always a good idea to apply a good amount of high temperature caliper lubricant here. We want to make sure everything functions properly. While lubricating this, let's make sure we make our way all the way up into the groove closest to my gloved fingers there. By adding lubricant in this area, that's going to help prevent moisture and debris from making its way in between the boot and the slider pin. Go ahead and slide that right back into position and work that grease in. Do the same thing for your other slider pin. Pull that out of place. Get up in that groove, of course. It's well lubricated. Slide it in, squish out any air from in that boot. Double check to make sure each one of these pins moves freely. Continue on with your high temperature caliper lubricant. We're going to lubricate the areas where our caliper bracket tins will sit. We've got two on one side of the bracket and two in the same position on the opposite side of the bracket. With that lubricated, we're going to pay attention to our tins now. You'll find in your kit, it came with two different tins, and there's two of each. Looking at them, you can tell that we have an area that protrudes out to the side. Two of them will have it so it protrudes out to one side. The other two will protrude out towards the other side. We need to pay attention to that orientation. When you're installing these, you want to make sure you have the area that protrudes out, facing out and away from the rotor. If you have it facing towards the rotor, you're going to have serious issues. Let's start installing these onto the bracket. When we do this, we want to make sure we have them in the proper orientation. It's easy to mix it up. Just slide it right on there. Double check to make sure it's completely secure. Continue on with the next one right across from that. You want to use the opposite tin. Sliding it on. Quick inspection. Same process for the other side. With everything lubricated, we can get this over to the vehicle. Let's get this bracket in position. The next thing we'll do is start in each one of our two mounting bolts. For these, it's a good idea to use a little bit of blue thread locker. We'll start them in by hand, snug them up. The torque for these is 65 foot-pounds. Now it's time to install your brake pads. When you install the brake pads, you want to make sure you install them into the original position so your inboard pad remains on the inboard side. We'll come in at an angle here, slide them right in there, make sure they can move around. The outboard pad, same process. Let's install the caliper. Slide this right over each one of those sliders and the pads. Continue on with your 2 caliper slider mounting bolts here. Use some blue thread locker on these as well. Start them in, snug them up, torque those to 27 foot-pounds. If you find when you're trying to tighten or torque that the slider pin turns on you, go ahead and hold that with some pliers or a wrench. With the caliper mounted, it's time to pay attention to our banjo bolt and our gaskets. Start by installing one of your gaskets onto the banjo bolt. Now we'll take this and slide it through the flex hose. Continue on with your other gasket on the opposite side of the flex hose. At this point, we have a gasket on each side. Continue on to installing the flex hose into the back side of the caliper there. We'll start this in by hand, snug it up, and torque it to 22 foot-pounds. When you align your flex hose, you want to make sure that you have the alignment tab straight into the alignment port on the caliper itself. Double check to make sure it's completely secured. Now let's make our way up to where the bleeder screw is. Remove your protective cover from this area. Now that the caliper is installed, it's time to bleed the brakes. The first thing you need to do is make your way up under the hood and check that brake fluid. It's a good idea to go ahead and replace the brake fluid whenever you're doing any type of brake service like this. Now the next thing we'll have to do for the rear bleeder screws is use a 10mm to break these free. Once you break them free, you want to make sure you see a steady trickle of fluid coming out. We'll close it off. Okay. Assuming you do see a trickle coming out, that means that the bleeder screw is free of debris and we can continue on with the bleed in this area. To do this, it's going to be easiest having 2 people, one person inside of the vehicle pumping up the brake, the other person's going to be out here bleeding the braking system. Go ahead and pump up the brake pedal, please. Now when we do this, of course, we're going to have gloved hands and wear safety glasses at all times. We'll open this up and wait and see a steady trickle of fluid coming out of here. We want to make sure we see brand new fluid. This can take several times. Go ahead and pump. Go ahead and pump. Repeat this process as many times as necessary until you see only clean fluid coming out of the bleeder screw and definitely no air bubbles. At this point, we've completely bled the right rear caliper. It's always a good idea to bleed all the brakes whenever you're doing this, as I mentioned, so we're going to make sure that we make our way over to the driver's side rear next. Let's clean our mess. on there. Make our way back up here. Remove that cap. Just going to top off that fluid so we're sure that we do not run the master cylinder dry. You can see it coming up to the level there. Reinstall your cap. One last quick inspection inside this area to confirm everything's torqued and bled properly, and we can continue on with installing our wheel. Once you have each of your lug nuts started on, go ahead and snug them up. We'll get the wheel back on the ground and torque each of these to 76 foot-pounds. The wheel back on the ground, torque each one of your lug nuts in a crisscross manner. Torqued.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.